I don't like pizza. Yo, what's up? We're back with more of everything. Man. Man, oh man, oh man. I don't know how much more of this game there is, to be honest. Rat was telling me, or sorry, wrong person. Rabbit was telling me that there is a clear end to this game, which, like, sure. It'll point me in the right direction. All I know is that I need to find the gold thing that was in the very first world, and I need to go down inside of it. Cool. The thing is, we're so many layers deep or out, it's hard to exactly say. But we're so close to, well, I say that without actually knowing. But I believe when I exited the game, it said that I was sitting around like 50% of all the things. 40%. So in 4 hours, I was able to find 40% of the things. Lovely day to become everything. You're so right. You're so right, Rabbit. Oh, there we go. Speaking of that... Have we finally found a cat? Or a bobcat? Yes! Fantastic. Big rock. How you doing, by the way, Rabbit? Ants! How do I call everything? Or have we always been everything? Oh. We're already getting into it, huh? You're good? Glad to hear it. I haven't been a scorpion yet. Look at that. The Emperor Scorpion. And the Arachnid family. And these are red ants. I think I was a black ant before. Fire ant. Did you ever have like an experience while you were camping where you were exploring the wilderness and you ended up like coming across like a fallen log or something and it was just swarming with ants and you had to make sure that it wasn't like fire ants by accident because you could actually get yourself like seriously hurt? That seems to be like a fairly common camping experience, at least where I live. We're just like, don't touch anything. Is that barley? Wheat. I am he, as you are me, as you are we, and we are all together. Beautiful, Zavis. Absolutely beautiful. Do I want to be hair? Not really. Carbon. Huh. I'm trying to find more atoms. Because this, like, molecular scale is around the point where I think I haven't explored all that much of. But it's really hard to tell. Because, you know, you can't really see the atoms. Sand grain. Hair. X-ray. Here we go. Zip zip. Bye. Zip zip. Zoom zoom zoom. Oh. Oh? We can get talked to. The fundamental reality is meaningless.
A perfectly logical person would say that the notion of the self as the fundamental reality in which everything else exists is meaningless. And of course, from a logical point of view, it is. But at the same time, just because something cannot be put into a logical category does not indicate that it isn't real. It's saying that the self in each one of you is really at root one. Just in the same way that you have all over your body millions of nerve ends. Each one of those nerve ends is, as it were, a little eye. And it gets its impression of the world, but it sends it all back into the central brain. Well, in a somewhat similar way, every person, every animal, and even rocks are regarded as sentient beings in a very, very primitive form. So all those forms that we see may be looked upon as the eyes that look out of one central self. Only, of course, in the human body, we can see the connections between the nerve ends and the brain. It's much more difficult to see the connection between one individual and another. And therefore, it's very easy for us to form the impression that I am only what is inside my bag of skin. And that my ego, myself, is a different self from yourself. And we're all, therefore...
A tyrant of low frame rates has destroyed the world.
Mentally disconnected.
I can disable the disasters in settings. Disasters auto-optimize scenes if low frame rates are designed. Okay. So they exist as a way to like try and buffer your frame rate. Ooh. Uninvited lasers, okay. It's only in this section of the game that my frame rate really begins to suffer. Even while a thing is coming into existence. Disaster equals clear menu cache. Yeah, exactly. It's a cool solution, I'm not gonna lie. Alien planets, rock planet, ringed ice planet. Sure, why not? I'm not a continent, am I? I guess I am. A blue spruce. Yo, there are houses on this planet? Let's go. New thing. Bird. An Arctic tern. Is that your favorite kind of bird? Whoa. Bam. Llama? Alpaca? Someone get feed snacks. This game's so silly. Arf, arf. Alright, what are we looking at? No person exists alone.
No person exists alone. And we need, in order to live, the cooperation of a community, of a society, not only of people, but also of plants, many kinds of animals, insects, bacteria, air. Every kind of thing that is around us is as essential to our being as our heads. You can draw little gradations of some things that are more essential and some things that are less essential. But fundamentally, everything is necessary for your existence.
New way to categorize something. Sculptures. Explain your life to me in blue spruce terms, if you would. I am Clover. Huh. Looks like dandelions are not part of grass. Not a plant like grass. Haha. I found a little bit of ice. Itty bitty stalagmite. We're back to microscopic levels. You playing Grisnix? Yes. That is the plan. Time for some pretty games. Ooh, it's pretty, you say. Star Radiolaria. Oh, new atom. Let's go. We found argon. Let's freaking go, dude. the noblest of gases. It's true. Oh, new thing. A Planck length. Look at that. Oh, we're back here. We're in a universe that I was in before because of the giant drums. Basically, the works.
So your apparent disconnection, the fact that you are not tied to other people with umbilical cords or some kind of wiring that gives you one mind.
How many of these do they have? Holy.
Yes, we do have one mind. In the sense that, for example, all of us turn out to be approximately the same shape. 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, a mouth, 2 hands, 2 legs, and so on. But going yet deeper, we find that it's somehow a necessity of thought that there be some sort of a something which is the common ground of all these universes.
Self-pity.
Galaxies. And that ground is the self. Now that's quite a startling point of view. Because what it's saying is, you see, that you are basically the works.
Oh, what have we here? Satellites, great. A tall space station. Mesoplanet. Ice planet. Alien planet. Green planet. Alright. Oh, penguins. Bam. I am tricycle. And bam. Data center. The old green hut, of course. Oh, wind turbines. Oh. I've been thinking about other animals all afternoon. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing than an animal. You're right. Ooh, new plant. Who this? Why, that's pokeweed, of course. You may have heard of it. I know, I certainly haven't. But I don't think I've ever devoted any fraction of my own time towards plants. Not looking at screen because spoilers? I mean, kinda? It's real. I don't know if you can really spoil yourself much to this game. If you play for about like 20 minutes, you can kind of get the gist of what everything you should be doing. But it's nice to see you, as always. Dimmy Doo. The music here is nice. It is nice, you're right. I haven't been able to sleep because I realized my atoms don't give a damn about me. Just came in to say you played through Lisa Joyful, and I could say it's great. Not as good as base game, let's be honest, but I feel I need an explanation video. Ah, great. We love those kind of games. Oh, we found marijuana.
You have, going on all the time, two types of consciousness. Number one, the things you notice. And you notice things by having words or other symbols which you attach to them. It's very difficult to notice a thing for which you don't have a name and which you can't classify by some sort of image or shape. There are peoples, of course, who notice things that we don't notice. Eskimos have 5 different words for snow, because snow is very important to them. And to us, it's all just plain snow. There are all kinds of variations in language according to what people notice. So there's noticing consciousness, which we have courtesy of notation. But then there's also consciousness which doesn't notice, but nevertheless is highly responsive. You are responding at the moment to all kinds of stimuli coming to your nerve ends, which you don't notice at all. The way you are sitting is a response to unconscious stimuli. The way you adjust yourself and move, the way your heart beats, the way you breathe, the way you see. You don't know how you do that. You're doing it, but you don't know how it's done. So you see, consciousness in the ordinary sense, that is, say, conscious attention, doesn't notice everything. It only notices very little of the world.
Yeah, this game's pockmarked with various lecture dialogues from a person talking about, you know, philosophy. What does it mean to be human? What does it mean to have a sense of self in comparison to a bunch of people who go through a similar experience to you? Things like that. I could do anything today. For some reason, I feel the zest in the air. That oomph. That realization that now is the time. And it's just the perfect time to take a long, never-ending nap. Never-ending is a concerning phrase. So there are some Amazonian tribes who only have words for a few colors. If they're cured for it. Brown for dupe, blue and green, and if I recall, red or yellow. And to say if a color is darker, they just repeat the color twice. For example, a dark blue would be blue-blue. Interesting. I wish I were bigger sometimes. Things would be so much better if I was just a little bit taller. Just even a tiny bit. That's all I want. Enter my mind and allow mine to enter yours. We are not different. This is your thought as much as it's mine. Just the colors around them. I mean, that makes sense. Imagine showing the pink. Yeah, imagine, you know, coming across a new color. Something that you've never seen before and been like, that doesn't exist. you couldn't imagine it, right? Because, like, how do you describe color besides just, like, using itself, right? One of a favorite piece of, like, you know, self reflection is, like, how do you know for certain, like, that your version of the color green is the same as someone else's? You can't know that for certain, right? Because, like, to them, green is green, and to you is the same, but you could be looking at two entirely different things and never know. This green continent, Oh! I found it. Descend into the Golden Gate. Oh. You are at an ow. Now I find a bunch of space junk and a piano. Bunch of instruments in here. I'm the president of this garbage dump, and I hate it. I was asleep the last few years. What happened? Where am I? There's nothing but sadness here, and it goes on for miles and miles. Great. I spent my life searching for this place, and now I wish I never found it. I left everything behind for this. Everything I've ever had. You know, I took the whole thing too seriously. I wish I realized what a game it all was. This place is hell. I worked my entire life. I put it on my kids. Told them it was for them, but really I just wanted more for myself. I blew it. I lost it all. It's all gone. I tried to tell everyone, but they wouldn't listen. Now it's just me again. I'm reaching levels of personal sadness that shouldn't be possible. I hate myself. I hate myself. And I hate you. This is hell. Real, actual hell. I spent the last 23 years of my life filled with rage for my sister. We shared a room for 10 years. She was my best friend who knew me better than anyone. Somehow I blocked her out. I felt like I needed to. She was on her way out before I found myself, though. I never got to say goodbye. All I see are things I want. A recent example in language evolution is the frequent misuse of less and lesser when few and fewer would be more grammatically correct. It drives me up a wall, personally, but linguistics are discussing dropping that rule. Nothing quite like watching a well-written video essay that it says less reasons and I want to unlike the video. I suppose? Is there like that big of a is it like that big of a deal? The point that they're trying to get across ends up being the same, does it not? Like, shouldn't intent be the most important thing about communication rather than, like, arbitrary linguistical rules? You gotta help me bust out of this prison I put myself into. We're trapped. Ah, pancakes, bacon. Why is there so many thought bubbles in here? Is this hell? I expected it to be much nicer. Eventually, communication leads into a more simplistic, streamlined structure, and that you witnessing it. I mean, it makes sense, though, doesn't it? What? I hate this place and I hate you. I knew my grandparents, but I didn't really. Grown-ups never were real to me until I became one. Ah, it's an oil spill. If you understand the meaning, good. Yeah, exactly. I never spoke to my parents after I left. A whole path in life was a way of showing them how dumb they were. I get it now, though. I understand. I just wish I did it sooner. You know, I could have gone so many ways. I thought that if I played it safe, everything would be okay. I never, I never embarrassed myself, and that would end up well. Oh, I did never embarrass myself. I never really knew my father, not the way I should have. He was never a real person to me. This isn't anything like I expected. I just felt wrong. I didn't used to feel wrong. Our parents tried to do all the right things, but we never saw it that way. My children, I will never see them again. I neglected them so much, always focusing on my own issues. I can't explain it. That's what seemed important at the time. They all grew up to hate me. Or worse, ignore me. I would give everything only to hear their little voices one more time. I'm the most unique thing in the universe. I have to be. There is no other possibility. If only I stopped wanting more and more and more. There are others that still want to get in here? Wow. I spent my whole life worrying that others thought of me. What a terrible waste. I had some real friends in my youth. I used to hang with a few other Cybervanes. I lost touch with them. I'm far too important, I thought to myself. I never had real friends again. They don't let you die here. It just goes on and on. This is no way to be. My children never spoke to me, and now they never will. I tried to be practical, you know? I went through it doing what I thought would be reliable. I don't know if any of it was. It took me 24 years to try and get in here, and now I just want out. Nothing normal. I never got to tell my parents how much I appreciate them. I had a long time. I just kept pushing them to the edges of my life as much as possible. I wanted them there. I feared it. I feared it all, and then made sure I was always as safe as possible, whatever happened. I never realized how badly this would serve me. Please help me. I've had enough. Please, please, please. I've had the biggest house you've ever seen. Gigantic. Now I have this entire wasteland of garbage. Lemon. Worked so much my marriage fell apart. There was a lot of things, of course. It all added up. Listen to this with no visuals is pretty interesting. Yeah, no doubt. What? An unknown planet. Oh my goodness. I am door. There's no need to feel happy. That will only lead to more sadness. Uh-huh. I'm a toy train. Am I bilingual? Was French forced upon you in high school? It wasn't forced upon me, but it was offered as a course, and I did take 4 years of French. However, the Alberta French curriculum is garbage. And I cannot speak... I can barely speak it. Well, I can't speak it. I can read it okay, like I recognize enough words to be able to string sentences together. But if you ask me to, like, properly put a sentence together in a way that would actually work in a conversation, I cannot do that. But part of being Canadian is that you see French everywhere. So even if you don't speak it, you at least like learn to recognize it. Yeah, exactly, through exposure. Cutlery. Shoes. Ribs? A rack of ribs. Hooch? Have I read 1140? The newest chapter? Yes, I have. I have. The good return from Oda? I agree. I appreciate the new characters that we were introduced to. And I am concerned about their intentions. I am a baby bottle. Toilet paper. Great. Yes, I'm very curious to see where this goes. It sounds like Shamrock's going to be potentially leaving the scene, which is interesting. I think I'm pressing the C button instead of the V button by accident, because V is what's used to like call things together and C dismisses them. And my fat fingers are pressing the C button when I don't have any people to dismiss. I thought I was special. I deserved more. I mean, look at me. Do I look normal to you? It's all my fault. I saw an interesting connection. On a panel with Mother Carmel and her orphans, people say one child had a massacre similar to one of the gods and knights that appeared to the Kieran dude. Yeah. I was watching Grand Line Reviews video talking about the most recent chapter, and he also pointed out the gas mask thing, because apparently there's been like a few characters throughout the series that just like have them, and it's never really been brought attention to. So who knows, maybe this could just be like a random background detail that Oda will, you know, expound upon in Oh god, a magnifying glass. And like an SPS, or maybe it'll actually show up in the story, who knows. But... it would be fitting for the dragons to turn orphans into soldiers. That does sound like the type of thing that they would do, doesn't it? Ugh. Bread! How many toasts have you eaten in your life? Minced meat, gross. Notebook. Open book. External hard drive. Nothing is friendly here. Everything is hardened. Bitter, lonely, sad. So sad. How's Grandland content? I mean, I watch his videos all the time. He is my go-to One Piece content creator. Has been for a long time, actually. I think I've been following him since he was only like since he was like a smaller channel. Now he's like, you know, probably the guy. Sushi! Can of soup. Sake. On the bright side, you... Nah, never mind. Oh! It's been a while since I've seen one of these. Wow, you're here. What a miserable place to find yourself. Everything here is frustrated. They all want to go back to the world that created them. But here they are, trapped in the world they created instead. This appears to be the one place we can't think ourselves out of. The harder we try, the more lost we get. This place is outside the universe, just a small corner of it that seems convincing, so much so that you can't convince anyone out of it. And so, I've come to stay quiet, waiting for someone like you to come along and listen. As you have found yourself all the way here, you probably realize I can have nothing to say to you that you don't already know. And you can see that my thoughts and all the other thoughts in the world are your thoughts. And by listening to me, you are listening to yourself. Why hold on to these thoughts then? There's nothing precious about any of them. You can always let go of every single thought in your head. Of course, you'll be able to find them out in the world if you ever need reminding. So, if you can see a way with your thoughts, you can see your way out of here. Good luck, Highball. Open the mind and empty it. When the mind is empty, you can ascend out of this place. No thoughts. Head empty. Ascend. Do I return to Black Bear? You're imagining small men dancing? You know, you're surprisingly not that far off. Congratulations. Tutorial complete? You can now instantly bond to everything. Tutorial complete. That's funny. Look at the sky.
Just in the same way that conscious attention is not aware of all the other operations of the body, in just that way, we are not aware of our connection, indeed our identity, with the fundamental self. We go to sleep at night, and then we wake up, and because the physical brain is still there, we remember everything that happened the day before. But if the physical brain decomposes, then we're what is called dead. And we say, well, that's the end of that. But when the leaves die and fall off the trees, or the fruit drops, next year, more leaves, more fruit. So in the same way, when you and I die, more babies later. If the whole human race dies, you bet your life. There are all kinds of things that feel that they're human, scattered throughout the multiplicity of galaxies, because this universe is a peopling universe. But because we are unconscious of the intervals, we are not aware of the self with our conscious attention when conscious attention isn't operating. But still, just as you don't notice what your pineal gland, say, is doing at the moment, so in the same way, you don't notice the connections which tie us all together, not only here and now, but forever and ever and ever and ever.
Oh? Is that another tutorial thing? Your size is always relative to the things around you. Okay, it's just... We're back to the beginning. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. I assume that means that we've done what the game wanted us to do. We could keep playing and try and find everything inside of this game, but I'm okay. I think I got the experience that this game was trying to get out of me. Very cool. Very, very cool game. Very different. I'll let the credits roll for a little bit just so we can see what they did. Not a great collecting game. Yeah, it's a bit like, how do you know what you have and haven't seen? Where have you been? Kind of hard to keep track of all that. But if it's going just for like an experience, they nailed that part for sure. Like, I can't think of anything else that's even remotely close to what this game is. This is one of those ones that feel a lot more like a less of a game and more of like an interactive experience where the intent is to get you to like experience like an emotion, you know. The themes are clear. Yeah, absolutely. It's just to let you know, like, there is no I. We're all born of like the same stuff, you know. Gameplay matches that idea. It's cool. Very, very cool. Very unique. An awesome little experience. Thank you for suggesting it, Rabbit. We are going to save and exit. I'm going to update our stream category, and we are going to get started on Gris. So, uno momento, por favor. Apparently, this game is quite pretty. Thank you for playing. Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to try out this one. With Gris. All capitals. There we go. Alright. Let me just quickly stop and restart stream so that I can